शक्ति दे तारा मयूरनो कंठ थवा सूर दे हे मां शारदा हे मां शारदा तुझ मंदिर नी ज्ञान ज्योत थी जीवन पंथ डोती मीर टाणे तुझ मंदिर नी ज्ञान ज्योत थी जीवन पंथ डोती मीर टाणे हे देवी वरदान ज्ञान दे लेखिनी ना लेख टणे शुद्धता शक्ति दे हे मां शारदा हे मां शारदा तारी पूजानो फूल थवा शक्ति दे तारा मयूरनो कंठ थवा सूर दे हे मां शारदा हे मां शारदा
Thank you, Meenakshi and Hemdeep, for that wonderful, soulful rendering of the prayer. Dr. Guru Prasad Mahapatra, Municipal Commissioner, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, had a long stint in development and regulatory administration, the power sector, where he was involved in the comprehensive reforms and restructuring of Gujarat Electricity Board. Also armed with rich experience in the chemicals and fertilizers sector, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation has as its commissioner one who has an excellent track record of converting cities into models of urban governance in the country. We invite him for his welcome address. Dr. Guru Prasad Mahapatra.
Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, Srimati Anandiben Patel, Honorable Mayor of Ahmedabad City, Srimati Meenakshi Patel, respected former Secretary of Government of India in the Ministry of Urban Development, Dr. Sudhir Krishnan, respected Additional Chief Secretary to Urban Development and Urban Housing, Government of Gujarat, Sri G.R. Aloria, Mr. Madan B. Regmi, Economic Affairs Officer of UNESCAP, Professor Sivanand Swami, Executive Director, Center for Excellence in Urban Transport, CEPT University, distinguished participants in the Regional Expert Group meeting on Sustainable and Inclusive Transport Development and the second Asia BRTS Conference, and friends from the electronics and print media. It gives me great pleasure to welcome the Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat and the distinguished members on the dais to the opening ceremony of this international conference. Respected Madam, we are indeed very grateful to you for sparing your valuable time and agree to grace this occasion with your esteemed presence and share your views with the distinguished participants in this forum. Sustainable urban transport is the major concern in all the urban agglomerations in the developing world. Considering the increase in the living standards, income levels, and economic activities in the urban areas, we are witnessing a boom in urbanization in the whole country. Gujarat is one of the most urbanized states in India, and providing a multi-level model, affordable, environmentally sustainable, and financially viable urban transport is a major concern for the government in the state. I am sure this concern is not just confined to Gujarat, but poses a major challenge to all other rapidly urbanizing states in India and in Asia. Ahmedabad was the pioneer in introducing BRTS way back in 2009. The major concern in introducing BRTS was to provide better accessibility and mobility to its citizens. Today, nearly 17 cities in India are at various stages of developing and running BRTS. Further, many cities in the India, including Gujarat, are promoting monorail and metro train services. There's a great scope for experience sharing and learning from each other regarding the major issues in BRTS, sustainable urban transport, sustainable land use, and making travel affordable and pleasant. It was in this background that the first Asia BRTS conference was held in September 2012, which was inaugurated by the then Chief Minister and the current Prime Minister of India, Honorable Sri Narendra Modi. We have come a long way since then, and today we are very happy that more than 100 participants from various cities in India and Asia have gathered here to deliberate on various issues pertaining to multimodal or urban transport, particularly BRTS. The city of Ahmedabad, in fact, considers it a privilege to host the second Asia BRTS conference and welcomes all of you. I once again take this opportunity to welcome our Honorable Chief Minister, who gives top priority to promote a sustainable urban agenda, and also take this opportunity to welcome all the distinguished guests sharing the dais. Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir. Economics Affairs Officer, UNESCAP, Dr. Madan Regmi, has over 25 years of national and international experience in planning, development, and implementation of transport infrastructure projects in Asia. Dr. Regmi currently leads work in the area of sustainable and inclusive transport development, its promotion, and facilitating intergovernmental collaboration among countries as part of his responsibilities. We now invite you, Dr. Regmi, for your welcome remarks.
Good morning, everybody. Her Excellency Srimati Anandiben Patel, Honorable Chief Minister Gujarat, Honorable Meenakshiben Patel, Mayor of Ahmedabad City, Mr. Sudhir Krishna, Secretary, Retired, Ministry of Urban Development, Government of India, Mr. G.R. Aloria, Additional Chief Secretary, Government of Gujarat, Dr. Guru Prasad Mohapatra, Municipal Commissioner, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, Professor Shivananda Swami, CEPT University, distinguished participants from member countries, mayor, representative of cities and government organization, distinguished representatives of international organization, academia and the private sector, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to welcome you all to this regional expert group meeting on sustainable and inclusive transport development and second BRTS Asia Conference. This event is a joint collaboration among UNESCAP Transport Division and the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, Ahmedabad Janmarg, and the Center of Excellence in Urban Transport, CEPT University. I would like to express my appreciation to the Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat for gracing this opening ceremony, as well as Mayor. Ahmedabad is selected as the venue of this regional UN meeting due to its popularity for improvement in urban public transportation system and also to provide opportunity for the participants to see the BRT system themselves. I am also very pleased to note that we have participation of the senior government official from UNESCAP member countries, mayors and senior representatives of cities, university and international experts. I am confident that this good mix of participants will result in very rich and useful discussion during the next 3 days. Distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, the United Nations Conference on Sustainable Development, as it usually known as Rio+20, renewed the global commitment to sustainable development and recognized that transport and mobility are central to sustainable development. The United Nations General Secretary General, Mr. Ban Ki-moon, has repeatedly stated that transport policy is a core priority if we are to achieve sustainable development. In order to fulfill these commitments, Asian countries and cities will need to consider adopting and implementing various innovative policies, strategies, and approaches to ensure economic, environmental, and social sustainability of transportation systems. Just recently, on 19 July 2014, the Open Working Group on Sustainable Development Goals has recommended 17 goals and 169 targets which are being considered by the ongoing session of the UN General Assembly in New York that includes targets related to the transport sector. Government and cities of our region face many challenges: the need for enhanced regional connectivity for trade flows and people's mobility, the growing vehicle fleet and associate increase in fuel consumption and emission from motorized transport, rapid urbanization, the need for efficient urban mobility, developing integrated transport system, and satisfying the huge rural transport demand. Many government and cities of the region are already taking various initiatives to enhance sustainability of transportation system. However, much needs to be done, particularly integrated transport planning, providing urban transportation options, coordination between national and city government need to be strengthened, and to make the best policy decision, optimize strategy and action for meeting mobility needs of the people. In this context, as part of UNESCAP effort to advocate sustainable national and urban transport policy, this regional meeting and conference is being organized with the objective of sharing ideas, issues, and experience in building better, more sustainable and inclusive national and urban transportation and services. In this context, two national workshops have already been organized in Laos and Bangladesh, and further two are scheduled to be organized in Nepal and Myanmar in October and November 2014. We are in discussion with Bhutan and Sri Lanka to plan and organize similar workshops early in 2015. So this integrated conference is designed to provide a platform to discuss various aspects of planning, developing sustainable and inclusive national and urban transport systems. I would like to take this opportunity to express our appreciation to collaborating partners Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, Ahmad Janmarg, and the Center of Excellence in Urban Transport, CPT University, for the excellent arrangement made for the conference and the hospitality extended to all of us. In concluding, I wish you all to have a very fruitful discussion. I am confident that the conference will be helpful in learning various policy options for planning and developing sustainable and inclusive national and urban transportation system and services. I encourage representatives of countries and cities to initiate discussion how to enhance sustainability of transportation system in your countries and cities on your return. I thank you all.
Thank you, Dr. Regmi. Additional Chief Secretary, Urban Development, Sri G.R. Aloria, is armed with rich and vast experience in urban development. He is known for his efficient managerial and administrative skills in the departments he headed, such as Forests and Environment, Municipal Corporations, Transport, Land and Revenue, Narmada Water Management, and Water Supply. We now invite him for the overview of the conference.
Honorable Chief Minister, Srimati Anandiben Patel, Honorable Mayor, Srimati Meenakshi Patel, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, Mr. Madan Regmi, my colleague Dr. Mahapatra, Professor Shivanand Swami. We are happy that Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation and SHAPT University and UNESCAP have organized this two-day seminar on importance of transport and second BRTS Asia Conference. See, after the three important requirements of life, which we call in Indian context roti, kapda, makan, the transport becomes one of the major requirements, whether it is for education, whether it is for health, whether it is for employment, whether it is for transport of goods, services, and everything. So transport becomes very important. Unfortunately, the little has been done in so far the promotion of public transport is concerned. But of late, there has been an awareness amongst all the cities and urban managers and the governments at the state and union level that we must promote the public transport. And as a part of this, Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation is credited with creation of the BRTS. And BRTS, I think in India has become synonymous of Ahmedabad. So I thank our Prime Minister and the then Chief Minister that it was his vision and his leadership and his guidance that led to creation of the BRTS and successful implementation in Ahmedabad. Any system which we create has to be sustainable because there are a lot of talk about anything which we create about sustainability. But sustainability is in our DNA. And I think DNA of sustainability has three core dimensions. That is the basic. First one is the optimization of natural resources. And second is the financial sustainability. Whatever best systems we create, if they are not financially sustainable, they will crumble after a couple of months or years. And ultimately, there has to be improvement in the quality of life. The citizens must feel that yes, whatever changes the municipal administration or the governments have done, they are improving its quality of life. So far transport is concerned, basically transport involves two sectors, both public and private sectors. Public sector would involve the policies, would also deploy the resources, but it is the private sector which has to rope in for the better and efficient services. The conference, I think 2 days, a lot of experts have come from the different countries also and as well as in India. And I'm sure that the conference will deliberate, work on the short-term measures and long-term measures. Because if you look in Indian conditions, it's very less percentage of population is traveling through the public transport. So one is the change in their habits, that they go more and more for the public transport, which will be economical, which will be hassle-free, which will be faster, which will be affordable. The transport sector, I think innovation is the key. I think more and more innovative approaches are to be required both at policy level and both in the technology sectors. So our aim should be that we focus on innovative technologies. Otherwise, we will not be able to keep pace with the rapid and transformation in the world, both in terms of population and both in terms of requirement. This conference, I hope, would focus on theory, policies and programs, and would also have an opportunity for the experience sharing between the different implementing agencies, Ahmedabad corporations, and regional experts. So once again, I thank all of you who are joining this conference, and I may mention here that there has been constant guidance from the Honorable Chief Minister and the then Prime Minister, which has been instrumental in bringing the BRTS into a logical end. So once again, I thank Honorable Chief Minister to be with us and all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. We now invite Honorable Chief Minister to release a book titled Innovations in Design, Bus Rapid Transit System Ahmedabad, and we request Shri I.P. Gautam and Professor Shivanand Swami to present the book to Honorable Chief Minister for release. The book has been authored by Shri I.P. Gautam, Shri Shivanand Swami, Shri Abhijit Lokre, and Shri Vijay Arya, with contributions from Ms. Shifali Borkar and Mr. Sandeep Paul. The book, titled Innovations in Design, Bus Rapid Transit System, Ahmedabad, has been published by Mappin Publications, Ahmedabad, Center of Excellence in Urban Transport, and CEPT University. The book traces the design journey of Janmarg, the alternatives that were considered, the innovations it fostered, and the lessons for the future, with more and more cities looking at BRT systems as mass transit options today. Ahmedabad attempts to demonstrate what is possible in the existing paradigm of congestion, narrow streets, and increasing focus on technical and engineering solutions to urban transport. Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister. We now invite Dr. Sudhir Krishna, who retired as Secretary, Ministry of Urban Development, in charge of urban planning, urban renewal, local governance, and urban transport. Dr. Sudhir Krishna has been advocating the concept that the growth story of the country has got to be written on the canvas of planned urbanization. He has been the key driver of transit-oriented development concepts getting grounded in various cities. We invite you, sir, for your address.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Srimati Anandiben Patel, Chief Minister of Gujarat, Honorable Srimati Meenakshi-ben Patel, Mayor of Ahmedabad, Shri G.R. Aloria, Additional Chief Secretary, Shri Guru Prasad Mahapatra, Commissioner AMC, Shri Madan B. Regi, Economic Affairs Officer UNESCAP, Professor Shivananda Swami, Executive Director, Center of Excellence in Urban Transport in CEPT University, all the experts, all the stakeholders, and invitees. I am delighted to be here in the midst of the key stakeholders from various Asian countries and international experts who have gotten together to discuss the issues on sustainable and inclusive transport and the BRTS experience. The timing of the meet is very significant as we are at the threshold of the conclusion of the Millennium Development Goals, which is scheduled in 2015. It is also appropriate that this event is being held in Ahmedabad as the city has successfully implemented various urban transport solutions, including the pioneering BRT systems. Ahmedabad is also set to launch the metro rail project for the Gandhinagar Ahmedabad region. Many other cities of Gujarat, including Surat, Vadodara, Rajkot, and so on, have implemented projects for urban development and management successfully, which have remained fascinating examples for all of us associated with urban and regional development. Friends, Asian countries contain about 30% of the land surface of the earth, but hold over 60% of the world population. Thus, and in fact, population growth in Asian countries is more than the European countries or US. Thus, any effort for sustainable development for Asia would have a huge bearing on the humanity. Asia is also becoming the economic hub for the world. The contribution of Asia to the global GDP has been rising and has now crossed the 25% marks and is set to keep growing. While this is a good news, it also is harbinger of newer challenges which rising economies face. The rising economies bring in growing purchasing power, leading to increasing consumption levels, which in turn brings in three key issues to be addressed, namely the expanding urbanization, the pressure on the climate and environment, and the threat of growing inequity in society between rich and poor. By itself, urbanization is the best option for bringing about optimal utilization of natural and man-made resources. I do not feel guilty of urbanization. We should be proud of urbanization, and we should nurture urbanization. Cities create wealth and improve the quality of life. However, if not guided well, urbanization could also lead to environmental degradation and can widen the gap between the rich and the poor, the have and the have-not. The good news is that both of the negative fallouts I have mentioned of urbanization can be tackled in a systematic and sustainable way through integrated regional planning, transit-oriented development, and strong decentralized democratic government systems. Cities are indeed growing, but cities also interdepend on their surrounding areas for expeditious and sustainable growth, so much so that the boundaries between city and the peri-city soon start vanishing in real terms. We do not know when we have crossed city boundaries and we are on the outskirts, and vice versa. The peri-urban areas, whether small towns or villages, provide the human capital to the city and also host newer economic activities, new shopping complexes, new business establishment, new industry units come just outside the city and provide employment to city dwellers. This is a real face of growing urban-rural continuum. There is nothing really that urban ends here and rural begins there. It is not true anymore. It is a continuum which needs to be recognized, accepted, and nurtured for bringing about sustainable and equitable development. Acceptance of this reality would call for adoption of regional approach to urban development. Plans for the city should be conceived under the overarching plan for the region, be it for drainage, transportation, habitation, water supply, waste management, economic activities, or any other aspect of human needs. We should not think only of the city or only of the village, but urban-rural continuum. Human beings are there, whether living in city or outside the city. Regional development. Accordingly, the regional institutions, such as the regional development authorities, the regional water supply and sanitation board, the regional transport authority, and so on, need to be brought to the center stage for planning and development of infrastructure and services. In some cases, such regional bodies might need to be created anew, and wherever these already exist, they would need to be made more responsive and capable. For urbanization to provide the best solution to regional development, it would need to be transit-oriented. Efficient and safe mobility solutions provide to people the choices to select the place of employment and choice to select the place of living. It would also provide choice to locate and access social infrastructure, such as hospitals, educational institutions, and facilities for recreation. Open a good hospital just outside the city, give good connectivity. That is far better than trying to do everything within the city, which is already overfull with many things. We have fine examples of regional high-speed railways from China, besides, of course, from the Europe, that have amply approved the feasibility and benefits of regional transport systems. The smart satellite cities that we are envisaging would become truly sustainable only if connected with the rest of the region through high-speed, efficient transport system. I was in Wuhan in China last week to attend a workshop on urbanization in China and India, and was able to witness the efficient public transport system, both intra-city and intercity in China. We indeed have a lot to take note of from such developments. One of the major criticisms against urbanization has been that it damages the climate, such as the demise of water bodies, the rivers and the lakes, and it also leads to development of slums. It is true that ever since urbanization is taking place, the slums are growing. It is also true. But it is not the fault of urbanization, it is the fault of faulty or inadequate attention to urbanization that has led to this. The solution to such challenges lies in transport-oriented regional development. The planning for transport system should be based on the principle of moving people and not the vehicles, which can be achieved by focusing on public transportation systems, such as the BRTS, and for larger cities, metro rail systems, with a host of intermediate and complementary level solutions, such as monorail, buses, paratransit systems, duly integrated with non-motorized systems, and pedestrianization. Transit-oriented development would enable the cities to expand beyond the traditional limits without the need to disturb the water bodies, boulevards, and other ecological patches. The transit-oriented development, or TOD, coupled with efficient public transportation system, would also enable the weaker sections of society to relocate from slums to better and safer locations for housing and jobs. If we don't provide connectivity, our weaker section housing will never be occupied. They will remain unoccupied or sold out to people who can afford private transportation system. If you provide public transportation system and develop the housing, weaker section housing or any housing away from city with good connectivity and safer, of course, then definitely people will move, otherwise not. The TOD would also facilitate optimal utilization of the land and the human resources. Mass transport systems can easily facilitate mixed land use and development of high-rise buildings, which can reduce the requirement of land for urban development without causing congestion on the streets. However, TOD needs to focus on sustainability in its 4 dimensions, namely environmental sustainability, financial sustainability, governance sustainability, and social sustainability. Planning for TOD in a way that would not only protect the natural resources, but would also strengthen and nurture the same can attain environmental sustainability. To develop housing projects or business or industrial estates, we do not need to destroy any lake or boulevard. I am from Karnataka, Bangalore cadre, and hundreds of lakes have been closed in the last 50 years. More than 100 lakes have been closed. Why? Just to develop housing, just to develop this or that. We don't have to do that. We nurture that rather. But how? We do not need to destroy any lake or boulevard. Just make a nice bypass around it. And develop the housing or whatever industry or hospital on the other side of the lake. And provide proper connectivity. That is the solution we have to pursue, not closing the lake, not closing the boulevard. Connectivity, allow people good and safe connectivity. A series of concentric ring roads interlinked with radials would enable the city and regions achieve this objective. The series of ring roads developed around Beijing offer a very good example. Financial sustainability is to be achieved by making a thorough analysis of the costs, both capital and recurring, and returns, both gross as well as segmented. Who are the total return from the project and who are the beneficiaries segment-wise, and ensuring that the project beneficiaries pay back to the transport authority in proportion to the benefits derived. Only the transit users are not the beneficiary. There are others who are not using the transport system is still benefiting. For example, if a metro rail is introduced, then congestion on the street is reduced. And therefore, those who are driving personalized cars also benefit from less congested road. And they must also pay for the less congested road because metro has come. So that kind of cost and benefit we should work out. Who are the beneficiaries? And not only the riders in the metro should pay for by fare box collection alone, we cannot fund the metro or BRT project. There are indirect beneficiaries and they must also pay in proportion to the benefits derived. Cross subsidies can meet the needs of the seriously poor people who cannot afford to buy ticket but still need to ride. We must subsidize only those who need to ride, not for the sake of just getting a free pass and going around without purpose. Governance sustainability could be achieved by developing the system capacities for effective planning and operations and maintenance of the transport systems. It would also call for unifying the numerous institutions that regulate the transport systems into a unified public transport authority for the region. One option is to achieve this would be to integrate the laws. Make one law, unified transport law. That is one possibility. While another option is to retain the individual laws, but integrate the enforcement authorities. And to me, the second option seems more viable, because to change the laws will take its own time. But we can notify, for example, the transport authority of the region can be declared as the appropriate authority under various laws. So it will operate the laws, but same authority. The experience with the UMTA in Indian cities, the Dhaka Transport Coordination Board in Bangladesh, the personal vehicle license quota system introduced in various cities in China, and other experiments in different parts of the world could offer useful experiences. Social sustainability would require the TOD planning, transit-oriented development planning, to identify the gainers and losers of the project, both direct and indirect. Any project brings in gainers and losers. We should not lose track of either. Neither miss out on who are the gainers nor miss out on the losers, and ensure that the losers get duly compensated both in the immediate and the long run, while the gainers return part of their gains for the transport development and management. The very project which brought them gain, part of that must go to fund the project. Social sustainability would also require the TOD planning to be inclusive by making the transport systems accessible to one and all residents of the influence zone. Wherever it is going, we should not ignore that only students will travel, or only rich people will travel, or only so and so. Every single human being in the influence zone is our target. How he or she can be covered, whether a child, whether an old person, whether a sick person, okay, whether a woman, everybody must be targeted, how he or she can be facilitated to reach my project. Not only that 80% of citizens will access, and that is enough. That is not enough, really speaking. City after city is realizing the significance of sustainable transport systems as a fundamental to sustainable urban development. This we see in the arrival of the Greater Dhaka Sustainable Urban Transport Project, the experiments going on in Sri Lanka, China, India, and several other countries. The modern technological developments, particularly the information and communication technology, the ICT, could provide a major support in achieving the objectives of sustainability, besides enhancing the efficiency, reach, and transparency of the transport systems. For instance, vehicle tracking systems can be a great help for the managers of the transport system on one hand, and on the other for the users who can see on touch screen of their mobile phone the availability of bus or train and where they can. So suppose you want to go to a place, the mobile should tell you that what is the nearest metro station, and then you take the metro and then go on further. The experiments of several cities within India, including Indore, Delhi, and cities in Gujarat, Karnataka, and several other states and other countries, including Hong Kong, China, and so many other countries, would surely be of interest to share in this workshop. The transport planning and TOD needs to take care of the last mile connectivity as well, so as to realize the concept of walk to work. You leave your home without your vehicle, personal vehicle. How? That should be our focus. Some distance you walk, take a bus, reach the metro station, take the metro, go to other end, and reverse direction, take a bus or whatever, reach your place. This would need development of feeder bus systems, safe walkways, bicycle lanes, coupled with public bicycle solutions and integrated transport junctions. The bus or metro stations need to provide for multimodal integration and vehicle parking so that the commuters reaching the junction in one mode could easily migrate to another. The Rahagiri experiment of Gurgaon, contrasted with that of Delhi, could offer meaningful case studies in planning and implementing walkways. Roads need to be declogged from parking. People park here and there, wherever they like, and create confusion and congestion. This can be achieved by developing multi-level vehicle parking at various places, whether market or other public places, or even in residential area, multi-level parking will be desirable. Now, as many family members, as many cars. That is the current level. If there are 4 members, 4 cars. Where will you park? On the road? Clog the road? So why not have multi-level parking in the residential area and pay, just like you pay rent for your house, pay rent for keeping the car. Make a viable model. We need to explore the models of public parking that are viable and sustainable. The arrangement for single fare card, like the octopus in Hong Kong, which I used extensively. Last week I was in Hong Kong, and I used extensively everywhere, whether in bus or whether in the MTR or whether on the airport line, or the more card mooted by the Ministry of Urban Development can further enhance utility of multimodal transport solution. A single card you use everywhere. And in fact, the octopus card in Hong Kong can be used in shops also. Some of the shops are accepting. So you preload it, prepaid card, and use it in the shops also. Last but not the least, the efforts of development of capacities for planners and operators of transport system would need enhanced attention. This is called for more seriously in respect of cities that are leapfrogging into modern transport systems that are available off the shelf. You can buy the most modern bus, but how to manage, how to operate? Within 2 years, the bus will become, not so good as it was when it was purchased. And these modern transport systems are highly efficient and effective. However, developing adequate capacities to manage the same would yield optimal benefits from the modern systems. Capacity building would also include collection of real-time information and data on transport-related issues, development of systems of storage, retrieval, and dissemination of information. You want to plan for if you want to do a PPP project for urban transport, say bus systems, the bidder will ask for information, basic data. How many travelers are, what is the population is one thing, but how many are traveling, what is this, what is that, and you don't have data. Then only option is that you go from government expenditure, because government can take the risk, but the private operator cannot take the risk beyond a point. And therefore, the data storage, data retrieval, and dissemination is very critical. It will also call for raising the levels of research and analysis of the transport-related issues. the governments at various levels, that is the central, state, and local levels, the research institutions, and the industry will have to work together to achieve the objectives of capacity building. The expert group meeting on sustainable and inclusive transport development and the second Asia Regional BRTS conference would surely provide a very appropriate forum to deliberate on these and related issues by way of sharing the information and experiences among the cities, regions, and countries and stakeholders, technology providers, users, and researchers. I am quite sure this event would succeed in achieving these objectives. I compliment the organizers, namely the Center of Excellence in Urban Transport of CEPT University, the Ahmedabad Municipal Corporation, the Janmarg, the Institute of Urban Transport, and the UNESCAP, and the sponsors, namely the Ministries of Urban Development and Housing and Urban Poverty Alleviation, and the partners, the MEGA, the AMTS, the ODA, the Surat Municipal Corporation, and all the experts and participants. I compliment them for this achievement, this getting together and deciding to discuss, and wish the program all success. Thank you once again.
Thank you, sir. Brave, determined, and dedicated, Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, Srimati Anandiben Patel, during her tenure as a minister in the Gujarat government, has contributed a lot towards the development of the state. She initiated various flagship schemes to encourage female education, sanitation facilities in schools, and self-help groups across the state for women to empower them. Youth and women empowerment, education, health and sanitation, self-reliance, nutrition, and girl-child education are a priority on her agenda for Gatishil Gujarat. We now invite Honorable Chief Minister Srimati Anandiben Patel for the inaugural address.
Mayor Srimati Meenakshiben Patel, Sri Sudhir Krishna ji, Sri Aloria ji, Sri Mahapatra ji, Sri Madan Regmi ji, Sri Shivanand Swami, and all the delegates, ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. Gujarat welcomes you all for this 2 days conference in the mega city of Ahmedabad, one of the fastest growing cities of the world. I am happy that you are here during the Navaratri festival. Sorry. The 9-day long Garba festival of Gujarat is the longest dance festival in the world. I am sure those of you coming from different parts of world and other states of India would enjoy the music, the dance, and the colorful costume at Garba festival tonight. When Gujarat got its separate statehood in 1960, I was in my teens. I have thus been a witness to different phases of growth and development of this state, including the cities. I have been a part of Gujarat's journey of being one of the most urbanized states of India, handling the portfolio of urban development since a few years. I am well aware of the potential that this sector offers and the challenges it poses. Public transport is one of the major challenges of growing urbanization. It is not just about adequate and efficient commuting. It is also about affordable commuting. It is about enabling a poor woman to reach her workplace and returned in time to cook for her family. It is about enabling a poor son of rich to his hospitalized parent. It is about connecting a middle class youth to his college at the other end of the city. I feel pleased to say that our BRTS has met this need. This is Away Janmarg is the most apt name for this service. It means people's way. I am also happy that this project has been acclaimed globally for its commuter friendliness, with the cities growing each day and satellite townships housing thousands of people. Multimodal transport is the only answer. Ahmedabad is thus also going to have a metro rail. We are keen that various modes of transport should complement rather than compete with one another. For this, we have formed Multimodal Affordable Transport Authority, matlab MATA. MATA will promote integrated mobility and put in place to system of safe, reliable, affordable, and convenient public transport. With rapidly growing urbanization, we will have continue finding innovative ways to address the urban mobility issues. I am sure the deliberations during these 2 days would throw light on how to meet the challenges. I am happy that in this conference, experiences of many countries are being discussed. Not only sustainable public transport, but issues like road safety, non-motorized transport, health are also being deliberated upon. I also wish that you deliberate thoroughly upon how to make our public transport more energy efficient, particularly for countries like ours, where we have ample solar radiation. We can certainly plan to move in this direction. This conference is important not only for Gujarat, but for India as a whole. Urban share of India's GDP is slated to increase to 75% by 2030. India's Prime Minister, Mr. Narendra Bhai Modi, is of a firm belief that urbanization should be taken as an opportunity rather than a challenge. Under his premiership, smart cities, twin cities, and port cities would become a reality. At the same time, better planned cities would give a very good opportunity for deploying different models of public transport. I can foresee many of you working for different projects in Indian cities in the years to come. The Indian economy scenario is changing fast. Infrastructure sector as a whole and urban infrastructure in particularly offers a lot of potential. From the government's end, we are trying our best to make our cities more livable with urban housing, urban sanitation, urban infrastructure, better road connectivity, and better workplaces. We are also involving community in a big way to make it happen. Many of you may be aware that Gujarat organizes biennial summits known as Vibrant Gujarat Global Summit since the year 2003. The seventh edition of this summit will be held on 11th and 12th January 2015. 7 countries like Canada, Japan, Australia, Singapore, Great Britain, South Africa, and Holland are partnering this event. This event is not just an investment summit, but a platform for knowledge sharing and networking. The themes include innovation, sustainability, women empowerment, youth, and skill development, among others. Various Indian states are also participating in the summit. The Prime Minister of India, Mr. Narendra Bhai Modi, has kindly consented to inaugurate the summit. I take this opportunity to welcome you all for Vibrant Gujarat with this. I once again welcome you all to Gujarat. I wish all the success to this conference. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Honorable Chief Minister, for that address, which this august audience will remember for many years to come. Professor Shivanand Swami, an economist and urban and regional planner, teaching at CEPT University since 1986, has assisted cities of Surat and Ahmedabad in evolving their city mobility plans and has been instrumental in planning and operationalizing the BRTS in Ahmedabad, Surat, and now in Bhubaneswar, Hubli, Dharwad, and Vadodara. We invite him to propose the vote of thanks.
Honorable Chief Minister of Gujarat, Srimati Anandiben Patel, Honorable Mayor Srimati Meenakshiben Patel, Dr. Sudhir Krishna, Mr. Aloria, Mrs. Rajmi, Dr. Mohapatra, dignitaries, and guests from 24 countries, 45 cities, and my dear colleagues. It is indeed our pleasure to have this august gathering assembled here to deliberate on sustainable and inclusive urban transport and BRTS as a strategy towards sustainability. This is one area which is global, regional, and local, and governments at all levels have a significant role to play. We're extremely grateful to our Honorable Chief Minister, Srimati Anandi Patel, who has always taken keen interest to ensure that urban development in Gujarat is on the sustainable development trajectory. Honorable Chief Minister has kindly agreed our request and inaugurated this conference, and we would like to express our gratitude to Madam. Her presence, inspiring inaugural address and blessings has certainly boosted the morale of all of us who are engaged in working towards sustainable urban transport development. We would like to express our gratitude to Honorable Mayor Srimati Meenakshiben Patel, who is always there with us in all our effort in development of the city. We are privileged to have the esteemed presence of former Secretary, Government of India, Dr. Sudhir Krishna at this occasion to deliver the keynote address. The address provided a wider base for opening discussion on diversified issues during the conference. Thank you, sir. I would like to express my gratitude to all the experts, both national and international, as well as city representatives who have accepted our invitation to participate as speakers, session chairs, and the discussants. We hope we learn from their experience. I would like to welcome one and all, and thank you. Thank you very much.
With that, we conclude this inaugural session.